Bonnie,
Hi,
act like
Jack.
you
How are you?
act
Bonnie from Toronto. Great to see you again.
good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You always make me so happy when I get to speak to you because you've always got that great big smile on your face.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack, I got to say, look, you are one of the most thoughtful and caring residents of Clover Grove. So thank you for that. I mean, how much fun do you really have doing this show? Come on, be honest. Fess up.
It has been a blast. I got to say that schedule about put me in the grave, but going to work every day was just a delight. Our child actors were so professional. My favorite part was it was important for me to make sure that our younger actors had such a good time on set that they
For
would
sure.
have nothing but good things to say for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
We all call each other on our birthdays and stuff. That has been such an important element for me and just fun. And even that, we filmed this a couple of years ago, and to watch them grow just in that
Right?
amount of time. So
Yeah.
no, it was completely fun. That schedule about did me in, but I made it. Here
But
I am.
but you're here. You're
I'm
here to
here.
tell us all about it, and
Yes,
you've made
ma'am.
it through. But I've got to ask you, there's no question in my mind that this show has made a huge impact on kids, on parents, on whoever watches. And I'm wondering, what kind of response you have gotten that maybe has just so truly touched your heart and made it all worthwhile for doing a show like this.
I mean, honestly, my favorite thing is when my friends who have kids videotape them watching it and they are just locked in. And don't get me wrong, like I get it, it looks super good, but then that music will just draw them in. So it's kind of my favorite thing when a friend will show me a video of their kids watching it. But also, we worked hard, like any sort of reception, any sort of viewing. I feel validated. I feel validated that I was not off course, that I wasn't crazy to think that there would be a place for a show like this. It was just a very meaningful thing for me to do. And so when I do hear that reception, when I do see these videos, it makes it all worthwhile for me. It really does.
Yeah. I'm sure for you growing up too, Mr. Rogers was a very big influence in your life. You can
Huge.
see that kind of in this show. And I just, what does that make you feel like when people say you're kind of like the new age Mr. Rogers?
I concede that I am. There's no other Fred Rogers by any stretch of the imagination. But guess what? I'm Jack McBrayer, and I want to honor those messages and
Yeah.
pick up the baton. And let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do in 2022. Let's see what Jack McBrayer, whose background is in comedy, what's his take on it. And guess what? If I stumble, fall, get canceled tomorrow, who can it inspire to try the next wave? Like, let's see what we can do to just get these messages going.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's such a fun and such a great show. So thank you for doing that. I of course I'm a little old for it. My kids are grown up, but I got to tell you, I just love watching your comedic stuff. Like 30 Rock for me, I always waited every week to see like what Kenneth was going to do. How much do you miss doing that stuff? And actually that just working with that cast. And will we ever get a reunion?
That I don't know about. 30 Rock changed my life for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't be talking to you right now if it weren't for 30 Rock. It was amazing. One difference that I do know is that 30 Rock, I was just an actor and I was thrilled to be an actor and work with those
Sure.
amazingly talented people. But then coming up with an idea of your own show and then seeing it through, you're wearing a bunch more different hats. God, there were some
Yes.
times when I just wanted to call Tina Fey and be like, how did you do it? How did
Right.
you do it? But that feels good. I feel proud. I feel grown up that I'm able to take that initiative and see it through like that. But yes, I owe Tina Fey and 30 Rock so much credit. And man, I look back at it so fondly. Yeah, I got to keep a page uniform. So
Well, that's all that counts. I mean, Jack, come
yeah,
on, seriously,
yeah.
of course.
Just
But I
some,
wonder how your comedic background has been so helpful, especially like your improv skills
yeah.
when you're doing a show like the kind of show like this, and how it's even just working off kids and
Yeah.
how that works. It's got to be a lot different doing improv, I guess, with kids as it is, or I don't know, or is it with adults?
Well, the good news is the Jack McBrayer brand works pretty well for kids as much as it does for adults. It's not too off target for me to be silly with a 5-year-old as it is for me to be silly with a 45-year-old.
Right.
But what's interesting is through most of Hello Jack, we had to take such care with our scripting and our curriculum and our language just to
Sure.
make it appropriate and have it, appropriate messaging.
Right.
So it was mainly just off camera that I was able to do bits and goof around and be silly with our child actors as well as our crew and all that kind of thing. But again, I think I've kind of found an interesting lane where the way I do comedy, it's not so cutting edge or anything that it was too far of a stretch for Apple to say yes to doing a preschool show with me.
Yeah, well, we're glad that Apple said yes
I
because
know.
we love you, Jack, and come visit us back in Toronto when you have some time. We'd
I
love to see you in
will.
person.
Love Toronto. Beautiful city.
Well, we love you, and thank you so much for your time. It's always my pleasure to spend a few minutes with you. Thank you
There
so
you
much.
go. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Take care. Bye now.
see ya.